it was the hardest thing I've ever been through, just because, I mean, I'd never lost anyone in my life, and for it to be a really good friend, someone who's only 18 years old, yeah, it was really tough.
If you're an academic, Dave had a mid-80 average all the way through. He was headed to university in September.
Worked to the best of his ability, and he was an excellent student. David was in my grade 12 media class, and I had the opportunity to enjoy his presence and to work with him a lot in his projects. He was in the classroom and out of the classroom the same person, a leader in every respect in the classroom.
In grade 12 more, I got to know Dave as for who he really was, and the kind of guy who had always had the courage to stand up for his faith and for what he believed in. Take life more seriously. I think that up until this point, I'd sort of, in a lot of things I've done, a lot of attitudes that I've had, is sort of, you know, there'll always be another day. But you can't always make that guarantee. Nobody can have that guarantee. So to live my life in a more directed, more focused way, and focused on the right, in the right direction.
But one thing he loved to do was to help those who were less fortunate than he was. I can remember seeing Dave, I guess it was Christmas Day. He was down at Mission Services. He was peeling 40 and 50-pound bags of potatoes and carrots to hand out to those guys that just didn't have a dinner for that day. Remember times when he and his high school friends would hand out sleeping bags and blankets to those people that had to sleep on the streets. I can remember times when Dave handed soup and sandwiches out to those people who come near the end of the month when the welfare checks come out. There's a 3 or 4 day period when the checks just need to be there a little bit sooner and there's just not enough food on the table. Dave handed this bowl of soup and a sandwich to a young guy who was about 19 or 20 years old, and he gave him a huge bear hug. Lifted Dave right up off the ground. Dave's face turned red, his ears turned really red. He looked at me, and I looked at him, and we both started laughing. He was out of breath. I know he was out of breath. But that young boy, he was 18 or 19, turned to Dave, and he said, "Dave, you're the very best friend I've got in the world. Thanks."
I think my parents have really been strong and been steadfast on their beliefs and haven't really been bitter about anything. They've just, you know, dealt with it in a way that is very encouraging.
I went to school with him. We were in the same high school, and I actually got to know his sister before I got to know him. We never thought it could happen to anyone around us or anyone close to us, but it has, and that has really affected all of us. Work accidents are all too common now, so I just really think that people need to really consider their lives and just to evaluate it and just to really think about what their life would be like if it ended too short. First of all, when you go into a workplace, that you know what's around you, you know what you have to do, and you know what your right is, that you can refuse to say no if you feel that's unsafe, and that you have that right that no one can force you to do something that you don't feel is safe.
If David had had the training that is available right now, perhaps David would have asked those questions, those important questions to an employer. Perhaps that accident would not have occurred. David went, and unexpectedly, totally unexpected, and because it has caused great pain for our family and those who knew him. And I would like for people to weigh their own relationships with their moms and dads, their own relationships with their brothers and sisters, the people that care for them, the people that love them. Let's get those relationships right and get right back on track again, because we've got a bright future in Ontario. David has left us, and he's left his mark, and I know people can be influenced and encouraged positively. We can make this a much better place to work in, to live in, to play in.